Coming to you from the Orange Room in Coon Rapids, Minnesota. This is It's Only Food with your host, Chef John Politte. Alright, and welcome back to It's Only Food. Today we are doing a little bit different show. We are going to be doing a collaboration with a food reviewer. His name is Joseph Mueller, and he has a show here on YouTube also. He's a creator over at JKMCraveTV. I will put the links involved with everything there. I will put the links here, and I will put the links in the comment or the about section of the video. Joe does some wonderful reviews on fast food and restaurant food. I have learned a lot from him, and I know what to eat and what not to eat, and just makes me curious to try things just to see if he's right or wrong about things. And most of the time, he's pretty right. He does a great job on reviewing. So let's get Joe in and let's see how he's doing. Joe, how are you?
Hey John, how are you? I'm doing pretty well, buddy. Thanks for those really kind words. Everything is good here. Feeling good, looking good. The weather is a little bit overcast, but other than that, everything's cool. Thanks for asking.
All right, well, Joe, I'm going to start off with some questions here, and then we'll just wait for your answer, okay? Well, Joe, first thing I got to ask is, what made you decide to become a food reviewer?
Well, John, you know what? There is a lot of elements to that in terms of why I became involved in food reviews. There's the fast food component and the food component. I pretty much consider myself a foodie. I love food. I love fast food. I love trying different things and trying to develop my palate. I also have a very keen interest in photography and video and editing and graphics. So doing food reviews allows me to really mesh those two sort of desires or sort of hobbies into one particular facet where I could do these food reviews, and it pretty much satisfies a technical need, also a food need, and allows me to, or the opportunity to interact with really great people and subscribers like yourself, to make friends, and also to really have an impact on what's going on today in terms of fast food.
Awesome. Do you only do fast food and drive-through food, or do you do restaurants?
At this point in time, I mostly do fast food. I do some restaurants that I do feel that would be appealing to my audience. I don't really do many on-site sort of reviews. I haven't overcome the actual embarrassment to review something in public and get a lot of attention from people that are sort of like listening to me. So I've pretty much limited myself to the car arena, or maybe in front, or maybe outside in my backyard. But it pretty much, I would say 99% of my reviews are done isolated in my car. And I hope to really go to a restaurant and actually do a review and engage with an owner and get to know them and see what they're all about. So hopefully I'm going to be doing something a little bit different and trying to get my feet wet in that arena. It's just going to take a little bit of confidence and pretty much just taking the first step.
Interesting. What was your most memorable meal?
My most memorable reviews are the ones where the food was just horrendous. It was a definite failure. It was horrible. And two really come to mind. One is the Burger King pulled pork sandwich, in which I found like a burnt nugget within the sandwich itself. It felt like a lava rock, actually, and I did sort of send the link to the video to Burger King corporate. They did, the franchise owner for this particular region did get in touch with me. They were very concerned. They took it very seriously, and they also invited me in for one of their product launches And I thought that was pretty cool, and that is one item that's memorable. The second memorable, stuffed mozzarella garlic knots. Each one of them was like a blowout, and pretty much put the video together, sent it to Pizza Hut corporate. I got a personal phone call from the district supervisor of the region, apologizing and said that, you know, we're going to take this very, very seriously, and we're going to look at all of our QA processes, and we're going to make a difference. So those are the two that really stand out, and pretty much any kind of a holiday dish that my wife makes is definitely first class.
Okay, from all this experience you've had, and you've done a number of shows, you're getting up there in subscriptions and views and everything else too. What have you learned from all these experiences?
Well, John, the one thing that I've really learned is that I am pretty much driven by my subscribers, and I really enjoy the interaction. I've also made a lot of great friends. There's a lot of great food reviewers out there that I've had personal contact with. You being a prime example of a friendship, and I've made a lot of great friends. I've also had a lot of nice interactions with people, and I've learned a lot in terms of how to speak in front of a camera, how to concentrate on the camera itself and try to project and also try to smile. It takes a lot of practice, but I think if you look at probably my first video that I've ever done and look at one that's most recent, you will definitely notice a difference. And sometimes my wife and I will watch some of these videos and we'll just laugh and say, oh my God, it's really, really, things have changed. But in terms of subscribership, I'm just a really, really small fish in a very, very big pond.
Have you ever gotten any negative feedback from any of the management or any of the owners of these places? Have they ever chased you out in your car when they see you out there? Or given you any flack when they, happen to watch it or hear about it? Because I know you've given a couple places some pretty, like a 3.
I've always been pretty concerned about doing a negative review and getting a little bit of pushback from an owner or a franchise owner or a mom and pop owner. But the one thing that I've really noticed is that if I do a sort of a negative review or, things aren't exactly right, the people that I deal with, like Burger King corporate is one example, and also Pizza Hut, they are very, very appreciative of any kind of feedback, and they think that the camera is such a valuable tool as compared to a letter or a phone conversation. The camera never blinks and catches everything. So it's really appreciation. I've never had any kind of negative comments or anything like that from a restaurant owner or a franchise owner. It has been very, very welcoming and very, very appreciative, which is definitely nice. So I really enjoy if I'm able to identify something to a franchise owner and they're able to go in and see it and fix it, because you can't be everywhere all the time. So I think if they've got some other avenues for feedback, I think that is sort of helpful, and that's the sort of feedback I've gotten from them. But you know what, that sort of lends me to something else about doing a negative review. Like, there's been some local places where the review, it was pretty horrible, and I feel really bad about slamming somebody, but it's all pretty much factual and it's all there on camera. And one of the things that I notice about myself, if I do sort of a negative review where improvements required, I pretty much won't go back into that place as myself with my hat on for fear of some kind of retaliation. So I would have my wife go in, or my son or somebody, just to keep things pretty much anonymous, maybe make a phone call order and then present and stuff like that. But yeah, so if someplace sort of is on my negative list, I pretty much try to stay away. Although if I do see some potential, I will go back and try other things.
So what was your favorite meal to eat, and if you could just tell us why?
Geez, John, you're making me think. One of my all-time favorites is the Umberto's Pizza review that I did on their Neapolitan slice. It is one of the things about living in New York and Long Island is, as they would say, we have one of the best water supplies here in the country, and they claim that as a result we get some of the best bread and also pizza. So for me to review a nice New York pizza from Umberto's, who was pretty much rated #1 on Long Island, I think that sort of stands out as very, very memorable. Now, in terms of franchises, one of the best franchises that I've been sort of hitting pretty hard is Checkers. I pretty much like Checkers a lot. They are definitely doing some really, really good things. I think their Steakzilla burger is probably one of the best items that I've had. They pretty much are sort of like a hidden gem, and I think they need a lot more recognition, and why they don't get it, I really don't know, but I would say the Checkers Steakzilla pretty much stands out as one of my favorites, and also the Umberto's Neapolitan pizza.
Hey Joe, please explain the curriculum you use to grade. It's a scale system. I'm interested in letting other people know about that.
Well, my criteria for rating fast food reviews is pretty much 1 to 10. I've really been sort of struggling with 1 to 10 for the simple fact as, well, what's the difference between an 8.5 and a 9, or an 8 and a 9? It's pretty much just the way I feel inside. It's my criteria is, 1 is appearance, how it looks, the texture, how it smells, and then pretty much how it tastes. So that is pretty much it in a nutshell, and you could probably see within the first few minutes of me taking a bite if I really like something, and you could probably predict with great accuracy what kind of a number rating I would give just by looking at my face. And a little bit of a hint is that, if I say wow or something like that at least more than 5 times during a review, we're talking some high numbers.
All right, Joe, well, thanks a lot for joining us here on It's Only Food. I appreciate that. I believe this is the only first collaboration of its kind where a chef and a food reviewer, natural enemies, have actually come together to do a collaboration.
John, I got to tell you something. It's been an all-time pleasure for me to participate with you in this one-time collaboration that I've never, ever seen before. And I really got to hand it to you. You also have a pretty awesome channel. I do myself want to get involved in a little bit more cooking. Pretty much, sort of those high-speed sort of videos like Tasty or something like that. But anyway, it has been a real pleasure, John. Thank you very much for thinking of me and having me on your show. Like I said, you got a really, really great show. I find it very informative, and whenever you put out a video, I am always the first one to watch.
It is fun to do, and I'm glad Joe agreed to do it. He is fun to watch, and he does do some very good reviews, and I do respect his judgment in about 100% of what he does. So, Joe, I appreciate you joining us again. I will leave the link for his show up above and below in the About section of this. Make sure you tune in to Joe. Go over there, subscribe to his channel, leave him a comment, tell him Chef John sent you. Thanks a lot for joining It's Only Food. Make sure to like it, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment below, and share this video with everyone you know. Thanks a lot for joining us again. Take care. Bye-bye.